Welcome back to PDS, Personal Development Strategies. I hope you guys are doing fantastic, doing well, that you're thinking about this goal, this one thing that you want to accomplish in the next 30 to 31 days. I hope you guys got that down. You're excited about it. I hope you've shared it. Remember, accountability is key. Here's what I know about accountability, just so you guys understand this. Typically what happens when people start off and do their New Year's resolutions, okay, that's like setting a goal, right? It says that those who don't share that goal with anybody, 6% never get out of the starting gate. In other words, if you don't share that with someone else, you're probably not even going to get out of the starting gate. And if you do, you're not going to do very well because you haven't shared it with anybody. So it's really important to share this, and so thank you guys for sharing all of those. So excited to help us get there together. And remember, this is a community, so if there's things that you have picked up along the way, share that. Let's dialogue with each other. Let's grow together in this. But the reason that I'm putting this video out so quick after this is this. One thing that totally changed the way I've done goals is a question that I never really asked myself. And it's one of those things that you'd say, well, why didn't you ever ask yourself this question? You just kind of do it because you're told to. And you know it's important, but you never really ask the deeper question behind it. So I remember this was years ago. This was probably about 10 years ago when I was setting my goals, because that's one thing I do every year. I set some goals. And we'll talk about that later, but I really want you to just get in this mindset right now of developing yourself. Okay, that's what we're starting off, kind of baby steps. You're like, well, aren't we going big guns with this? I'm telling you, I don't want to go big guns with this because I don't know where you guys are. I tried to go big guns early on, and I failed miserably and didn't jump back into personal development till years later. So I just want to make it easy and tangible, baby steps. In other words, that you can take this, you can see yourself accomplishing it, and then we'll grow that out together. Does that make sense? So I remember the question, though, I was writing all my goals down. I've got these grand goals, these pretty big goals. I said I prioritize my life. We'll talk about that another time, another strategy. But after taking inventory, I wrote down these goals, and for each one, for me, each one I had a physical goal, and I didn't just have one, I had three, right? 3 big goals I want to do that year. I remember for you guys, it's only a month, so I did 3 big goals, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, 3 big things I wanted to see happen that year, wrote those down, and then I wanted the other categories of my life. And we'll talk about that, but we're not going to talk about that right now. That'll be in another session. So the thing, though, that stood out to me, I could write those goals down. And then the hows was easier. Not easier, but it's easy. But the second question I never had asked before is this. A very important question. After I wrote these goals down, okay, I want to bench press 315 pounds. I want to weigh X amount of weight. I want to not eat any sugar, whatever. And those were great things, right? Because, bench 315 for a guy my size, pretty impressive, right? To weigh a certain amount of weight, like the other time, this was 2 years ago, I want to have 10% body fat. I failed at that one miserably. But the question is this. The question that one of my mentors threw out, why? What do you mean? Why, Johnny, do you want to bench press 315? It's a great question. Because I really couldn't answer it, but I didn't really have depth to my answer. Why? Because it wasn't for a consistent health thing. It wasn't bad, hear me, it wasn't bad. It was just, I didn't really ask and ever answer the question why. Why do you want to do this? Because here's what I realized as I'm doing these goals. If I can understand the why behind the goal, it's going to give me a lot more drive to do it. Let me say that again. If I understand the why behind the goal, why am I setting this goal? And it has some depth to it too. Like, why do I have this goal of wanting to run X amount? Let's just say miles. Okay, I wanted to go to the weight because that one I dropped it because I realized it was very about me. The reason I wanted to count, to be honest with you guys here, the reason why I wanted to bench 315 was to say I bench 315 was to say look at me. And I realized that was a personal conviction. That was wrong. And so I started thinking, why do I want to be healthy? What are the healthy things and why do I want to be healthy? Because I want to be around for my grandkids eventually one day. I want to be around to play soccer with my kids. And so I've been able to play most sports with my kids, and I can keep up with some of them. Because I realized there's a bigger picture because I answered the question, why? And so I need you to think about that. Remember, this is just a strategy, personal development strategy. And I know you're only doing one right now. Okay, as we grow and you grow as a person, you'll hopefully let this be something that'll sit with you and you can expand it to more than just one thing. But right now, I just want you to ask the question, why? Okay? So let's say you're physically, in 31 days, I want to lose X amount of pounds. Why? And it can't just because, well, I feel like I'm overweight. I can buy that, okay? Or I want you to think deep, though. Think your convictions. Think of the bigger picture. Because if you can connect this with something like emotional attachment, it's going to make a bigger difference and help you push forward in it. Okay? Maybe it's time management. Maybe I want to have free time. And you realize because I don't have free time and I want to have a calendar or whatever that looks like, you go, because I don't have that, I snap at my kids. There's a bigger picture. I want to be, calm. What is the reason why you pick this one goal in 31 days? Now that you have that goal, you should have that goal down. What is the reason why you picked that goal? Okay? So you've got the goal. You should have that down. I want you to think about it. Think through it, okay? This is not something just that you would do quickly. I remember doing this. It took me probably about 30 minutes because, again, mine were I had a lot more. It took me 30 minutes to an hour to really think of, why do I really want to do this? I had to wrestle with some personal convictions in my own life, but when I began to understand the why and the drive behind that, it really propelled I know it sounds crazy, my personal buy into what I'd said. Not just because someone told me to, but I had personal buy-in now, and I wanted to see myself get there because it was more than just about me at that point. Even I know this is personal development with you, but there's got to be an emotional attachment somewhere in there that'll help you really, when you think about it, to jumpstart that and to move forward in it. So, with that said, I need you to take time to do that. Remember, this is PDS, Personal Development Strategies. This is a strategy, okay? You've looked at sharpen the saw, which is all of these areas in your life. You take an inventory, which some of you, that wasn't fun, I know. You realize that you're dying in an area, you're surviving, you're thriving. And now you've taken one and say, okay, which one? You've set the goal, and all I want you to simply answer now is why. Why is this goal in 31 days so important to me? And just remember, this is just a strategy. This is something that we're going to work on and help you get there so that when you get there, you see that you can do it and you can expand that to multiple areas of your life. Hey, thanks for being with me here. Personal Development Strategies. So excited. I can't wait to see the whys behind you're doing what you're doing. So make sure you comment, why are you doing that? This is important. This is part of our development here as people, personally developing ourselves, no matter how old, no matter how young you are. So glad you're with us. If you missed the last few sessions, make sure you go back and watch them. If you don't go back and watch them, this will be totally lost to you. You'll be like, what's going on? So, hey guys, have a fantastic day. Remember, you've got a purpose, you've got a plan, you've got a mission, and you can move forward and be all that you were designed to be, just in your development of who you are. So let's make this day, and let's take this day and make this day an amazing one, because you guys can do it.